I remember playing the pinball and seeing, you know, the changeover, and I remember the video games like Tron and, of course, Donkey Kong, and then, you know, Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man. They came out all within the first, like, couple of years of video games, and I was in there feeding, you know, feeding the slocks for sure.
Any particular favorite with you?
Man, I even like, remember like
All
Dragon
all the laser disc based Dragon's Lair, Space Ace.
There, man. I did that. That's how crazy far back it went. And Tron, I played a lot, you know. Junior King, um, Ms. Pac-Man, I prefer over Pac-Man. I mean, those were the ones that I played. Galaga, you know, I can't walk by a Galaga, but nobody can, right? So.
No, I mean, I'll still go and play it if I see it. And Shane, what about you?
How long have I been gaming?
Yeah, gaming, and particularly your favorite games that growing up with.
Well, actually, I remember when I was in Dubai, going to a market and then watching these people crowded around in this marketplace. I have this vivid memory of people crowded around the machine, and I walked up to kind of peek through to see what the machine was, and there was this girl throwing fast kicks, and a guy throwing a fireball and screaming Hadouken, and that's when I was like, I ran back to my mom, was like, I don't know what this is, but I need quarters to play whatever this is. That's the thing. So I would say Street Fighter is a huge influence on that's what I think really clicked gaming in for me. You know, yeah, and then you get, you know, your regular Nintendo with, you know, the Mario Brothers and Super Mario, and even Golden Axe 2 on Sega Genesis.
Yeah, right up there. Tetris, man.
Yeah, Tetris. Oh my God! If that influenced, if anybody's ever considered themselves a gamer, Tetris influenced them, I think, because you cannot play that game without envisioning those blocks floating down the screen and hearing that music in your head. You can't. It's impossible.
Months playing that. Yeah.
I was actually in the Nintendo World Championships many moons ago when they made that movie The Wizard, before The Wizard was even a movie, and that was actually one of the games that they had. So that game's like burnt into my memory forever.
We're losing your eyesight on that giant Game Boy that was like a brick.
That gray screen. I mean, to look back at that now and compare it to like what's out now, it's just in handheld alone. I mean, just for your knowledge, Peter, you can download that Dragon's Lair. It's a 99-cent app now on the iPhone.
But you need one of those, you know, those toggle things. One of those, yeah, to smash. Because you used to smash it. Like, I used to knee that thing. Smash it. Like, would it break? You know, I think that was the game. By the end, I'm like, you know, it was fun, though. I lost a lot of money in there.
So, being that you know about Dragon's Lair, do you remember Firefox, which was also a CD-based game? That was the old Clint Eastwood where he steals the Russian plane.
Fuck yeah, I remember the movie, of course.
They did a game that was also Laserdisc based that I'm trying to find and get my hands on, but I've had absolutely no luck.
Was it kind of like Spy Hunter or something?
No, it was basically a remake of the movie on Laserdisc, and you just had to do the right inputs. Like it was the same setup as like Dragon's Lair. You know, you had to do it left, rights.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like some kind of simulation plane kind of a thing, but okay. No, you say it's cartoon. It was anime.
Yeah, it was basically the movie put on a laser disc, and you just had to do what they told you to do.
I don't remember that one whatsoever. Check it out. Sure.
All right, what's that?
We were speaking of handheld consoles. Do you remember Coleco head-to-head football or electric quarterback?
Yep, that, and then they had the head-to-heads were good because that was where they incorporated finally two-player. But Mattel originally put out one that I forgot what I think they just called it Mattel Football, which was just, you know, a one-player game. But when they came out with the head-to-heads, you had the football, the basketball, and I do believe there was a hockey version too.
Hockey one too, definitely. It was like blue, white, and red. But there was the first football one was called Electronic Quarterback. Wasn't that it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Electronic Quarterback. That was it.
Wow, you're old school. You're old school.
I remember these kids were like passing them around. The guys that were older than me had them. We'd steal them, and you know, it was that.
I'm assuming that with that statement, you were a little bit of a troublemaker.
I guess these guys were like skateboarders on my street, and you know, I looked up to them. did whatever they did, and so they had like one guy had a half pipe in his backyard, and he loved comics and Kiss, and all these kind of things. So I kind of grew up in the shadow of those guys. So they were the troublemakers, I think.
I feel like if you grew up in that time when games were like, you know, playing Centipede, you didn't accuse the game of cheating when you lost. I remember as a kid when I played games like Street Fighter, the games where it's like down to a hair's, you know, decision. When you lose, like for the 20th time, you accuse the game of cheating and get pissed off and like knock it off the table. But if you're playing as Pac-Man, if you have an error, it's your fault, right?
Yes. I mean, I literally, you know, even today with the games today, I kind of take that attitude. Don't blame nobody but the man in the mirror.
Right.
You know, too many people. I mean, I just had before you guys came on. There's an online tournament going on, and you know the levels of salt that gets thrown around from people losing and blaming everything else but their own stupidity is kind of funny. I'm also I'm going to move on a second because what I wanted to get is you know, going back to your guys' training. What you know, what I know you guys got to prep for the movies. What type of workout do you guys do? I mean, is it a basic like cardio, just practice martial arts? Or, you know, what does your workout entail? Because I mean, I gotta say, the fight scene that you guys had in Legacy 1, by far, it was probably the best one I've seen in the whole series.
First of all, thank you. We have great stunt doubles as well as fight choreographer.
Yeah, there's
Kim Doe, Danny Graham. And great people to work with, like James Bamford and Alvin Chan, or Andrew Chin, actually.
Yeah, and Tim Mann.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of guys. I mean, that episode had a lot of fighting in it. You know, there were some things that we stepped in and did some handwork. I mean, but this guy is absolutely capable of doing a lot of the stuff that was seen. There was a lot of aerial flipping stuff, right? And
what I do for
if I could do it, they wouldn't let me do that. These guys were flown in from Europe, 3 parts of the globe, just for that one scene. And believe me, it was probably the most well-rehearsed scene, and
worth it.
And it was the first thing that they attacked on the day 1 of shooting the web season. You know, they were prepared to do that, and you know, everybody was on point and delivered. You know, so I got to say that you know, I did minimal contribution to that. Doesn't matter how good I am, these guys are the best in the world, and they were flown in. They were all flown in, you know, and lived in the stunt guy house. And to tell you the truth, like I had never seen anything like that. I consider myself, you know, having seen a lot in a lot of action movies behind the scenes, but these guys are
beasts, man. They train hard.
Superhuman
train hard
at what they do.
5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, 2-a-days. I train. I run 5 miles a day, like 5 days a week, and then I go to 5 days a week actually. It's fucking exhausting. And then I do my kick sessions or trick training from 12 to 2:30, 2 to 3 days a week. I take protein shakes, and you know, from actually vegan protein shakes because I can't do whey stuff anymore. I take bacon protein now.
Any supplements like to help you with your workout that you guys use? I mean, obviously I'm not going to sit here and say roids, but you know, I mean, is there anything out there that you guys use to help you while you're doing your workouts that I guess give you a little bit of an edge or push you a little bit harder?
If I'm taking roids, they're not working as large as I should be.
Call you the Lance Armstrong of chicken.
One ball, dude. One ball.
Yeah.
That's how I get the spin, man. It's, let's
you
weigh me down.
produce your own testosterone still.
Yeah, I use like I said before, vegetable protein called Vega protein, and it's something I can use. It's clean. It's great. Couldn't be happier.
What other projects you guys currently working on?
Vegan? Okay.
I'm working on. I'm going to be doing this pilot in February, and then I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to close the deal on doing this really highly anticipated indie up in Ventura County in March. And then we don't know. I understand that the Mortal Kombat features can be shot in March, April as well in Chicago. But that news came to me 2-3 months ago. So I don't know how accurate it is. I've seen this movie get postponed for like over a year now, and the script changes and producer changes, and Warner Brothers just had a huge head of the studio change just today. Yeah, so there's a lot of you heard about that. So there's a lot of things that are in flux right now. But I'm hoping that project might offer me some work as well. But we don't know. Absolutely. Nobody knows anything, and it's a big cast. And I think you probably heard it before from a lot of these individuals that worked on the web series that nobody knows anything. So
now I'm assuming that you would want to reprise your role as Sektor.
Of course, he's badass.
He is pretty badass, I gotta say. I'm sorry, I gotta go with the bad guy over the good guy.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Now, I had actually mentioned, to Shane that some of the comments that I've seen floating around of people saying, well, you don't look like Cyrax at all, and then I told you to go check out the MK4. And you are a splitting image of the half robot, half human.
It's cybernetic eyeball, yes. If I don't have dreads like an MK9 guy, it does not mean I'm not the guy.
They just added the dreads now for that whole Predator look or whatever. But Peter, you actually kind of did take that role of the MK9 Sektor a little bit closer, but we don't know what the pre-Sektor looked like. So I got to say, as far as Kevin picking you guys, he did a great job and obviously did his research in picking you two to portray the characters. So I got to give him a kudos on that.
Yeah, he'd seen a lot of personalities for a lot of roles, so he had to do a little juggle game and then put them. Prioritize them through because of the shooting schedule and availability, as well as just matching up the right personalities.
It's a quick shoot too.
And I'm sure I know that he's super intimate with the whole storyline. But again, there's a lot of changes in the different releases of the games where the looks change and stuff. And I knew what I was walking into and who I was supposed to portray, because I saw the MK9 and I saw the guy and the goatee and he had a little bit longer hair, but I was hoping to achieve more of that look, but we got rushed to set and nobody even touched my hair. I mean, it was like I came in with a baseball cap and then all of a sudden we were shooting. I'm going, so I don't know how much effort I put into achieving that look, but certainly I want to grasp his energy, his intent.
Yeah, he's definitely. You can tell he's definitely a fan of the game itself, because at the premiere, all he wanted to do was whoop our asses as Smoke. That's all he wanted to do. Like he was like, I've seen the edits before. This is awesome. Watch it, but let's go back to let's grab the sticks, and so I can own you as Smoke because I've played it before it's been actually released. So.
Now, the one scene that you guys shot where you both were being made into the half robot, half humans. As far as your feelings and your portrayals of the characters, I mean, I know what I got from it. What did you guys take away as far as the aspect of who the characters had actually became and the differences between them?
Well, I know that Cyrax has a certain set of ideals, almost hero-like, because he believes that even though he's an assassin, that he's doing it for the right reasons, and he believes that the way that the organization is going now is not what he signed up for. So in a sense, he's with Sektor as a duo, and now it's one of those moments where the two best guys on the team. In the police squad are breaking up is what it is, and so that's his feeling. His feelings towards it. Meanwhile, I feel like Sektor knows that this is the best way to go. This is the future of things, and you need to fall in line, essentially. So he whoops my ass when I try to leave.
And Peter?
Yeah, that's essentially it. I'm not sure what you're talking with Sektor whips Cyrax before or after that truck scene.
Oh, before the truck scene. I think you're the one who actually pulled me. Who was like, yeah.
That was your actor.
Yeah, that was my head. You're the one who whooped me.
I was actually thinking it was probably me and a couple of guys, but me alone.
Hey, I was. I give you more credit than you deserve.
I think there was issues at the beginning, but it all depends on. I know what's going to happen. I know that eventually they split up. He leaves the Lin Kuei. The Sektor, I think he deceives and then kills the Grandmaster, takes over himself, forms another shadow Lin Kuei or something.
Spoilers.
But how do you? No, this is
I know,
right? But it always changes.
I know, right?
But as far as the continuation of our storyline in Web Season 1, who knows what the writing is? The writing is all up in the air depending on budgeting and who the writers are. What characters that they favor in any feature reboot could change at any moment. But it is expanded upon. It can go a lot of different ways. Definitely you'd see them have some animosity. So how long do you want to drag that out? You want to have sequels and sequels and sequels of them breaking up, kind of like the Green Goblin, Harry Osborn and Peter Parker. That'd be great. Or it could start off we're already enemies and not show it. But I know that the intention was showed in our 10-minute webisode. Yep. It shows that I think it showed.
Oh yeah, it definitely showed that there was this breaking up that was going on, and the scene when you guys are getting basically dissected, which I got to say, Cyrax, I loved the way they kind of went Clockwork Orange on you,
right?
And you're kind of trying to reject it, but he's out like a light, kind of like, hey, this is cool, this is what I want. And then, the only thing about it that, like I said, when you guys both were tested and you both fought Hydro, you kind of had it ended with you turning around, just giving that look, and now you're like, well, where the hell's it going to go? But I was kind of hoping that they kind of had like you said, the breaking up, but I'm hoping to look forward to that in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just the way they rolled it out and it being like literally the last image from the whole web season, that they had some kind of an idea about where it's going to go, and they'd reveal it. Maybe they're just holding on to it. It's like it's golden egg. I don't know, but it's kind of it's good. The way like Boba Fett came out. Boba Fett was cool. You kind of knew about them. You're waiting and anticipating his arrival and how he's going to fit into the Star Wars world. And when he eventually did, was incredible. So I'm hoping, these are kind of like peripheral characters, I think, to the core. But these are like, these guys could be like the wrench in the machine. They could really screw with things, So I don't know how they're really going to introduce them. But it would be a shame if they didn't, especially with the way that they were addressed last web season.
What do we got here? All right. So obviously we know your Sektor and Cyrax, but do you have particular favorite characters in the game?
Well, I like Raiden. First, and I like Scorpion. And Sub-Zero. I like them all.
I go with Smoke. Because I like characters in fighting games that use misdirection. I don't like characters that just barrel through. They're boring to me. So I like people that take a little challenging to kind of master and confuse your opponents. Keep them off balance, right? Interesting. So I'd say Smoke is probably one of my favorites.
Any other? I asked you this before, and I kind of cut you off, and I apologize. Shane, any other projects you're working on as far as your own stuff? My writing partner Miles Kelly and I finished writing a script called Call to Heroes, which is a feature-length script, a superhero script. We're shopping that around. On top of that, I'm trying to get ready for a couple projects in
let's see, March and hopefully this summer. So kind of in shape for that. Literally, it's literally in shape for that for some of those projects.
Exactly.
I'm gonna ask each one of you individually. I ask this to every guest that's been on from the Legacy series. Cobra Kai or Karate Kid? Cobra Kai. I can already see Peter Cobra Kai.
I know.
Johnny Dutch.
I know. Like, kind of, I'm the opposite, man. I am. It's whack. I know it is.
Man, I was hanging
Cobra
out.
Kai are the cool kids, and I was never part of the cool kid crowd.
I would like to be Cobra Kai, but I'd be one of those guys pulling Johnny off when Johnny's had enough.
Yeah.
He's had enough,
He's had enough, man. Leave him alone, man.
Leave him alone.
You got your point. You proved your point.
I'll be that guy.
It actually is pretty funny because now you guys have been friends for how long?
Us too.
Since the shoot.
He met, since the shoot. Like maybe about half an hour before we started rolling cameras.
Yeah.
He was walking by my trailer and I saw him. He extended his hand. He goes, "I'm, Cyrax. I'm Sektor. Nice to meet you."
Want to read lines? Yeah.
Meet some lines. And
that was it.
I think we're trying to get into our wardrobes, some ninja stuff, and then we're off into this freezing, because it was like winter, right?
Oh my god, it was so freezing.
We were in a massive hangar with the doors open, so it was
like
pretty cold.
Some kind of wind tunnel action.
We were wearing this ninja suit with just like some boxer briefs or something, so this is like, just freezing.
We'd go out do the take and then like...
So that's how we met.
Yeah. It's kind of cool because you both in real life seem to really envelop those characters. I mean, I gotta say, Peter got the hoodie up. He's sporting the hoodie and the dark and dreary evil side, and Shane's got the good smile and hey, I'm here to save the day. The Peter Parker.
That's true.
Natus, you have some questions?
Yes, I do. You just answered a friend question just now from Pherleece, so we'll get that one out of the way already. A question from Jarrett9121. Question for both of you. What were the hardest stunts you had to accomplish?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What were the hardest stunts you had to accomplish?
Oh, yeah.
You talking about in other projects or specifically?
Anything.
Jeez. Well, I don't know if anything was like, physically difficult.
Right.
There's a lot of things that are like timing difficult that could suggest danger. If you didn't get it right, you'd have to fall a certain way or, take a squib, hit a specific mark, not overshoot something,
Right.
So combination of them together, is the makings of a, dangerous situation.
And they'll never put us in anything that we shouldn't be doing, essentially. So that's why they have professional stuntmen on set, so that we don't have to get in a situation where we're doing things that might get us injured.
Yeah. There's like something that was really dangerous. Once I agreed to be in bed of a truck as it took off around the corner, and then I got short of launched out of the truck. But I literally went airborne, hit the inside of the bed, the wall, got thrown around like. In my head, I realized that I could have been thrown, 10 yards out onto somebody's lawn or something. And, there's that kind of stunts dangerous. I've done some crazy slides down hillsides, a tumble down a hillside, under, less than ideal situations.
Yeah, I was asked
circumstances.
to do a taco. This is some professional stunt people are going to be like, just a taco? That's nothing. On some concrete without using pads on a project that I wasn't getting paid for. So, yeah. And a taco is essentially you're flipping back and landing on the upper part of your back and compressing backwards into a taco shape. That hurts. You don't do that. Hurts. Yeah. With no padding and whatnot. So, dangerous? Yeah. Painful? Also.
Everyone's dangerous, but they're so controlled that you almost feel no danger. You just feel like doing it. Exciting, and it's extra exciting to know that it's going to be filmed and look cool forever. So I mean, I don't really ever hesitate. I don't think you do. Most stuntmen don't. They certainly don't show fear in the face of danger. I mean, it's all fun. It's all fun, man. To tell you the truth.
All right. My next question now is from Sub-Zero Smoke Rye. How much of the series lore did you guys know coming into the project, particularly little sub-rivalries like Johnny Cage and Cyrax rivalry?
You know, I only knew up to I say MK3, up to where Cyrax and Sektor were introduced. But I also I was aware of them being in Mortal Kombat games throughout the years. I just never followed those games because those games were when it started to get into the 3D realm, and it was really hard for me to really enjoy the game because they
you could just say they were trash.
It wasn't a side-scrolling 2D thing, so it was different. So I was willing to kind of try the 3D thing. It just became a lot harder. And then there was MK, the Mythologies or something, I believe. And I think that was a game that I never got around to. But I know there's other pieces of story that are involved in there. But it's mostly their introduction into the MK universe is what we did. Also, Wikipedia is fantastic. So.
All right. My next question is from OBS King Ray. Shane and Peter, do either of you still play video games? And if so, what type of games are you into? Also, what other hobbies do you have?
I'll answer quickly. Yeah, I do. I have an Xbox 360, and then I play a lot of that LA Noire. Oh, nice. I've been playing, of course, the last Mortal Kombat, and what else I've been playing? Grand Theft Auto, latest one, and then that's about it. I mean, I've been looking for an arcade to walk into and start playing again, but all you got is 7-Elevens, you know, in the bad part of town. So I don't really have the time now. Well, actually, I have a little bit more time recently. I've been playing again, but you know, when all those Mortal Kombats had come out right up to recently, up to maybe 3 years ago, I was too busy starving anyways to be playing video games. I would have ate the damn console. I was starving so badly. So.
All right. My next question is from Jarrett9121. What would you consider your greatest moment while filming during Mortal Kombat Legacy?
Greatest moment? Wow.
I broke down in tears at lunchtime. I went running for my robe and said, "Damn, I'm hungry, man. We didn't even get breakfast, so they just threw us onto set." I really went. I mean, remember how cold it was? I remember not getting any coffee or breakfast. That's what I remember. Thanks, Kevin Tancheron.
My favorite moment on set was after they had filmed me in, you know, shirtless in chains on the friggin' gurney. Pete was sitting in a chair for that scene. I was actually on a gurney, and so Pete got up and could leave and go do his thing. And because I was buckled in, they were doing setups and doing reverses of shots. And so when they tried to switch setups or shoot Darren Chalabi after me, they didn't tell me I was done. So I was just stuck in this gurney waiting, just going, should I not say anything? Should I speak up? Should I just be quiet and be here? What's a professional cook? Like, what should I do with this situation? But my favorite part was, my greatest moment was when you guys left me on set by myself, wondering whether I was wrapped or not, before I said I come find you to say I was wrapped. Thanks, Kevin.
Oh, right. You rode home with me or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. It was a miserable day, too. We're at a mental hospital outside of Vancouver, and it was a lot of Vancouver shoot there. It's a massive sprawling mental institution, and one of the buildings, the main buildings, is often used. It's haunted by ghosts, and it's all creepy inside, and it's non-operational, so it's freezing, and we're in there shirtless and stuff. And
it was miserable in the sense of the atmosphere, not the experience. The experience was
the experience was awesome, yeah.
But the gloom was hanging quite heavy overhead the day. So
and it definitely achieved the whole creep factor, the creep level that they wanted. It was cold and all kind of antiseptic looking, but it looked like some kind of Russian bomb shelter from the Cold War in there. Kind of antique type of machines and operating tables, that kind of thing. And it was cold but it was fun.
let me ask you guys favorite actors beyond yourselves.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Denzel Washington. Bruce Willis is actually still one of my favorite action actors. I still consider him an action actor because of Die Hard. So
Hey, he's got another Die Hard coming out. He's doing something right.
yeah, exactly. As far as all badasses go, he's look like he's got it on lock. Jeremy Renner.
Really?
Yeah, I like Jeremy Renner. Who else? Who else is? I'm weirdly proud of Bradley Cooper actually, because I've actually seen his career like from way back when actually grow to what it is, and now I'm actually aware of the progression. So it's very cool seeing somebody go from point A to point B, or feel like you're with them from point A to point B. It just feels like you can do it too.
And Peter?
Well, gee whiz. I mean, I have so many. You know,
Right.
one of my quirky actors, and you know, I'd say Sean Penn. I'd say Sam Rockwell.
People
Gary,
are custom losing it.
yeah, Gary Oldman. I really like James Woods. I mean, if you want me to go A-list, I'll say Ryan Gosling. I'll say Jake Gyllenhaal. I'll say Johnny Depp. I mean,
favorite
most of these guys are at the top of their game, and that's why they're A-list. And they're all good, and I'm a fan of all of them, pretty much.
All right, all-time favorite movies. Start with you, Shane.
Oh. All-time favorite movies: Goonies.
I gotta say now, before let me add this to the equation. You're locked up. The world is gone. It's you, and you got one choice, one movie that you can watch 24/7, and don't say A Christmas Story.
Platoon. I don't know. Whenever it's on, I can't stop watching.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Scarface. I've seen it like 40 times. I mean, it's always good.
I don't know why the Never-Ending Story popped into my head. I have no idea why. At least I'm being honest, right?
Hey, I actually have Lamal, the Never-Ending Story song on my iPod. So
that's what I was thinking, man. Kaja Gugu. Jesus.
People are like, what? What are they talking about? Yeah.
That's the band on the mall used to be in. But anyways.
That's the one movie. I'm sorry. I got to be entertained. If I'm going to be on a desert island for the rest of my life, I want to be entertained, which is a sad state, actually, because there's such great acting that is really heavy. But if I have to watch a movie for all eternity, I don't want to piss myself off for all eternity.
Peter, one movie only.
Well, yours. Which one was yours? Goonies or Never-Ending Story?
Never-Ending Story.
Never-Ending Story, man. I'll go with the
Mine's
adventure.
similar to his choice. Deer Hunter.
Okay, that's a great movie. For me, it's True Romance. I could watch that over and over and over.
Yes,
sir. Sure. Every scene's is a doozy.
And an A-list actor now.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Are both of you guys gonna try to reprise your roles? I would assume for the MK3 movie.
If you mean by try, you mean sit back and grab whatever's thrown at us? Then yes, I'm going to try. I mean, one of them is we can't do really anything except hope. And like I said, a lot of things are subject to change.
Right.
Who knows? I imagine that if they roll out, a bunch of sequels, of course, Cyrax and Sektor, might make appearances, but could be 20 years from now. Who knows? Or they can include them right off the bat, jump right into the story. Hit them with.
I think my personal opinion, they have no choice, because the second one was such garbage that if they want to recapture that moment, they better give the fans right off the bat what they at least give them that comic book climactic, oops, we're going to hang you and make you say, well, we want the fourth one, but you better make a bang with this one, because, I mean, it's been, what, almost 20 years, 15 years or whatever it's been since the last one came out?
Yeah.
7, I think, was Annihilation. But.
Yeah, the first one came out in '93, and then.
But are they backed into a corner? I don't know if they are, you know, to show them in the future, the reboot. But
show them they'll make money by putting us in the movie.
But certainly they could tell their worth and then knew what they were hanging on to by holding on to them and then delaying the final episode till they you know, they revealed it at Comic-Con live when we were there. So we know that it's you know, it's kind of like an ace in the hole. When are they going to play it? You know, they want to wait for a sequel. Do you want to put them in the first 5 minutes of the reboot? But let's just say it's, you know, logistically there are some you know, some more difficulties like the cost of it, the choreography, which is time consuming, the cost of bringing in the stuntmen. So I know the studio system is absolutely scrutinizing and crunching those numbers. In the end, it seems like a lot of times economy prevails over creativity. So who knows what happens?
Right. Yeah, they're not pushing back this movie to fuck with you people. It's not. That's not what they're trying to do. There's, like you said before, there's script rewrites. They want to make sure everything's right. They want to make sure this stuff is necessary. They don't want to have people shifting around their seats because the movie's too long. Just a whole bunch of things that have to go into casting who they cast and hiring who they hire.
Yeah, but I do agree. I think they're gonna you know, they're gonna make an appearance somewhere in there. Maybe you'll just, you know, you'll disappear and the green eye will show at the end, you know, right during the credits again, something like that. You know, they could pull it like, you know, they could throw that at us. We have no idea, but you know, I'm sure they'll be in there somewhere.
I mean, I know for Cyrax in Mortal Kombat 3, the game, he basically accomplishes his mission, it gets reprogrammed and kind of wanders in the desert and just kind of lingers there. So. I don't know, Kevin definitely spins the story in a very creative way, in my opinion. So I can't see him going with that story, but I could see him, definitely incorporating them somewhat early. Because like I said, you two right now, in my opinion, of course I'm not a director or a producer, would pretty much lock those roles, just from the web series alone. And I know the fans that actually watched it, at this point can't sit there, Mullen did Johnny Cage, new Johnny Cage, you can get away with that. But characters like this that are like these very high impact characters in the story, you can't just throw, two new dudes in there and people are going to go, wait a second. I watched the web series and that's not Cyrax. Like I said, you guys have pretty much grabbed those roles now. So I would hope that they would say, hey, you know what? We got to stay with the MK fans and kind of the way they look at it as compared to the grand scope of things, of just saying, well, we're going to put this movie out and, we don't want to see Jack Nicholson and Tom Hanks as Sektor and Cyrax.
I would watch that, actually.
I beg to differ. I think a lot of people might want to see that.
Where would you put them in terms of location? Where, like, Tom Hanks and Jack Nicholson and Cyrax and Sektor will have the helmets off.
It's like Mortal Kombat, Cloud Atlas.
But where was
our version different?
We have them have a conversation at a coffee shop, or like
I don't know.
Before they fight to the
Mortal Kombat bucket list. I don't know.
As far as the web series, I'm sure you've seen all the episodes. What did you take away from some of them? Like, let's use the one with Raiden, for example. As far as the story goes, it was a very different twist from what people were thinking they were going to see.
I really, really like the series, not just because we're in it, but because it's a collection of short stories explaining the story. Because it's on the internet, it allowed Kevin to tell stories in a way that were creative and new and fresh within the realm of Mortal Kombat in and of itself. For example, the Katana Melina episode where it's animated. I love that kind of thing in Kill Bill when it was applied. So I'm all for the anime style couple episodes here and there to kind of move the plot along. Granted, I still want to see people do the live action part and do the work, but it's nice to kind of get to paint a painting versus just going, here, look at this, here, look at this. You're taking your audience on a journey versus just showing them, hey, it's over here.
Yeah, he definitely captured a per episode, you know, a different feel per each episode. So you didn't feel like you were just watching the Mortal Kombat movie play out. You felt like, wow, these are actually separate entities within the big picture.
Yes, you weren't just cranking out episodes like it's a procedural show. Did this not?
What beyond the Cyrax Sektor episode, what would you consider your guys' favorite ones?
I particularly like you know, the Raiden episode. I do. Ryan Robbins is a friend of ours. I've known him for years, as well as Shane. But aside from that, I thought it was kind of bold move, direction to take it in, and they handled it well. And regardless of whether or not you approve of the way he handled it and extrapolated, rated him from, you know, one dimension and put him into another one. If you argue that either way, you got to admit it was pretty entertaining and it was well handled. It was very gritty, and I thought it was a great performance, and there was some good fight scenes. Yeah, you know, I know that he's taken some criticisms, but you know, on the other hand, he's also got a lot of praise for that. I particularly enjoyed that episode, and I never seen Ryan in that kind of a role, and I thought he pulled it off with flying colors. So
I really liked the Scorpion episode, and the reason why I like the Scorpion episode is because I actually am one of those film guys who can watch titles, like subtitles. It doesn't bother me. So I thought it was a bold choice to kind of have, you know, Anthony Dale speaking Japanese and Marissa, his sister, speaking Japanese as well, and it showed that you're painting a world versus just going, you know, this happens here, this happens here, this happens here. So it just showed originality and creativity. So
I mean, your guys' episode obviously was at least it seemed visually
appealing.
Yes, the most appealing. I personally, I think, like I said, I like the Raiden one because he kind of, and it's funny because, you know, Christopher Lambert was the original Raiden, and he kind of took a little bit of that Christopher feel of Raiden as compared to the James Remar version, which I'm not bashing James Remar, but it just seemed more comical. Well,
there's a new Mark Dacascos is playing Raiden in the second web season, so I don't know exactly what Kevin plans to do, but you know, I thought it's interesting, and so far it's working. You know, also we had the advantage of having some really dynamic special effects, and that was one of the reasons why it was kind of postponed on the rollout, because they were doing so much visual effects. And you know, admittedly, you got to say, you know, who doesn't want to see two words? You know, robot ninjas. I mean, ninjas. Sells itself, right? It's a good website.
Now let me ask you, Shane. Once again, going back to that scene of you guys in the chairs, and like you said, you were strapped in the gurney. What's it like looking at yourself, seeing your whole bottom half missing?
It's a little weird. It is a little weird. Luckily, I knew how they did it, so I was not worried about my bottom half. But when you're doing it, you don't really think about it. You just kind of go, well, I hope they know what they're doing. So if I'm going to wear shorts and do this thing, I'm going to wear shorts and do this thing. It's not going to look weird because the frame is only from here to here. So
now, are you guys familiar with Injustice at all?
Yes, I'm really pretty excited for that game to come out.
Any particular favorite DC characters you guys are looking to see?
I am a Speedster fan. So
you talking about Justice League meets Mortal Kombat?
No. There's a game that NetherRealm is coming out with called Injustice.
I don't know about this one. Okay, talk. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, it's DC fighting game. It's using the DC Universe heroes and villains. And
that's what I was saying. Was it like
it's kind of like Mortal Kombat versus DC.
Yeah, but they've been working on this for years, right?
Yeah.
Well, they've been working on it for 2 years, but you know, basically the same guys who did MK9 are doing this version.
Yeah, I saw a crazy like 3-minute trailer a few years ago when they're fighting. You know, it was huge.
But they're not doing there's no Mortal Kombat characters. It's just DC characters.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's gonna.
But it's done with the same kind of graphics.
That's gonna be wicked. That's gonna be wicked.
I'm looking forward to playing the Flash. He's really ripping through those cigarettes.
I'm a smoker myself. I'm gonna step out for 5 minutes and come back.
Okay, your thing. Anyway, so yes.
There you go. All right, so the Flash, huh?
Flash. I'm looking forward to the Flash. Let's see. You know, I recently read the Justice League New 52 comic book, and they made Aquaman kind of a badass. They really kind of did.
Yeah.
Like to the point where you're like, I kind of want to hang out with this dude. He's not the guy who talks to fish. He's the guy who tells fish what to do. You know, I believe someone was saying there was a joke where he came out of the water and tossed a car across the street like it was, you know, a piece of paper. And they were like, well, you're actually kind of strong. He said, guys, I have the entire weight of the ocean on me, pressing down on me constantly. It's like, I'm standing on dry land is nothing. I thought to myself, you know, this guy's actually kind of a contender.
He's in the game. He's got, I would hope they would do him with the trident, you know, the version of the trident in for the hand and make him badass is what I'm kind of counting on.
You're saying you want him with the hand cut off and the trident, or you want him with holding the trident in his hand?
No, hand cut off trident.
You want him handicapped, essentially.
No, I want him to look badass. I mean, just having the trident, you're like, all right, you know, anybody could swing a sword around. But this guy said, you know what, I'm going to take this trident, I'm just going to embed that thing into my hand.
Yeah, he would be more of a badass. I don't think, you know, I mean, the King of Atlantis, you're already pretty badass, but I think I guess he's got a lot to prove with that fishman stigma. So. Now,
have you read, I know you just said you read the comic. They are releasing, what's the gentleman's name, Natus, that's doing the comics? They're actually doing comics that coincide with the game's release, a new series, which actually tells you the story of the game for what to expect, why the game is.
Interesting. Now,
I don't know his name.
Tom
Taylor, I believe it is.
All 4 comic books. Shouldn't you find out what the game is about the game while playing the game? Another realm?
Well, they're not giving you the whole thing, but they're giving you a taste of why things are messed up.
Maybe it's like a startup to it, and then maybe once the game is out, they'll probably start going full-blown into more of the story.
Oh, so you mean like a prequel? Like
exactly.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, basically, from what I'm taking away is, you know, Superman is bad.
Right.
And he took over the world. And they roll, you know, and that's in the game. That's what you're taking away, but you don't know why. And then this is kind of telling you why he's doing that. And, you know, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you. I would say definitely look up Injustice Gods Among Us, Google it, and you can download the comics. They got the digital comics you can read. And it definitely, and I'm not a big DC person, I'll admit. I've always been a Marvel guy, but this is actually making. What was that?
You and me both, man. Don't get me wrong. One of the only DC titles that I've read that I really, really, really enjoyed, like felt compelled to continue to buy more of them, was the Green Lantern Origins, then Rebirth, then all the way up through Darkest Night. It was from there to all the way up through Blackest Night. But I've primarily been a Marvel kid my entire life, and I, you know, would love to be Black Panther someday.
That would actually be pretty cool. The funny thing is, like, for me, believe it or not, the fact that I can relate more to the characters of Marvel is one issue. The other issue is a lot of the comics have taken place on Long Island, where I'm from. So they'll be talking about a city, and they'll be like, "Oh crap, I know that." You know, where I guess Metropolis is Chicago, Gotham is New York City. You know, you got to kind of assume this. I like the fact that it kind of takes place in real locations.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think that the writers write what they know. I mean, if you lived in Iowa, you would kind of write a story about a character who lives in Iowa. You know, you wouldn't write a story about a character who lives in a place you've never really been, because it's really hard to write about, real locations.
I definitely, but I mean, I would definitely suggest looking up the Injustice Gods Among Us. I know everybody that's in the chat is pretty much caught up. They're up to the 3rd episode already of it, so it's actually getting pretty intense, and I'll tell you, people are getting whacked that I never thought would be getting whacked in a game.
Such as who?
Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, what?
Shot in the eye.
What? Who?
Shot in the eye by the Joker.
That sounds about right.
Did you hear the new Jimmy Olsen news? That Jimmy Olsen's a girl in the new Superman?
What?
Like Jamina Olsen or something? I'm serious. Jimmy Olsen's is a chick. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I guess.
I think what they did in the New 52 with the retcon with Superman is they made him into. What I enjoyed about Superman is that he was less of a know-it-all. Like, he was just a force of nature. Like, they were talking, he wasn't the guy who's he wasn't a brilliant strategist. He wasn't directing traffic in the fight. He was just the guy they kind of unleashed because he had so much power. So I kind of gave him a handicap in terms of how smart he was, which would let somebody like Batman beat him up. Right.
Well, I mean, like I said, not to give away too much of the Injustice Gods Among Us story, but basically, in a nutshell, he marries Lois, gets her pregnant.
Okay.
The Joker kidnaps Lois, and now he goes berserk trying to find her. And he calls on to Batman, and Batman's like, "Yo, I'll go get everybody. I'll help you out," and shit just gets all fucked up. He thinks he's beating up one guy. It winds up not being who he thought he was. Brings him out to space, kills them.
Oh. Okay.
And it's just like I said. I don't want to give too much away. I mean, because I know the guy Tom Taylor puts a lot of effort into writing the comic. So, I mean, you can go on iBooks, I think, or iTunes or whatever it is, and download it.
Doing something seriously?
Yes, I definitely will. DarKNaTaS, you got some questions?
Yeah, I got another question here. This is coming from Ronaldo. This is a question for Peter. How did it feel to beat the world champion at VXG last year?
Huh?
Did you guys hear me?
Yes, we heard you, but they're not following you, and now I am, but I'm not. Basically, what it is your character, Sektor. Actually, the VXG is a tournament that's going on in St. Martin, which is a pretty big tournament.
You gotta invite us, man.
It's an MK tournament. There's a bunch going on, but this one specifically is what, the biggest one?
This is the biggest one in the Caribbean.
And Sektor 1, playing Sektor?
Sektor 1, yes, and he beat the Evolution champion, this kid Perfect Legend, who is pretty much one of the top players in the world, and this unknown kid came up with Sektor and blew him up.
No, how recently? I did not know that.
That was what, in July or June, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
It's been a while, but the next one coming up is actually looking to be even bigger and better. So you know what? I am going to reach out to Rolando and see if I can make something happen about that, because right now Cary Tagawa is going down there.
Really, Cary's fine.
And it would be pretty sick to get you guys down there as well. So I'm gonna do what I can and see if I can make that happen.
Sektor winning, that's huge.
Sektor is pretty overpowered. Cyrax, by the way, just so you don't feel bad, blows people up.
He's like one of the most broken characters in the game.
But he's a broken-ass character.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's got 100% combos, but you got to get them.
He's got a lot going on upstairs.
Yes.
You know, he's dealing with issues.
Yeah, so broken.
See, that's what I try to explain to players. I go, look,
so you get his combos. He murks people probably.
I am going to let me get you that link and send that to you so you got that. Where is it? Injustice. Yeah, this, like I said, this comic, you know, I'm not a, should I say, I haven't been a big comic book guy. I mean, I worked a security guard job one year, and you know, spent those midnight to 8 reading comics nonstop. So, and that was back in, you know, early '90s. So that was the last time I really got into the comic thing. But this comic actually, especially being a DC comic, made me say, "Wow!" You know, these guys. The guy who's penciling it is from Australia.
Oh, nice.
And he's doing a bang up job. Definitely doing a bang up job.
Did you guys hear about the news a couple weeks ago about Spider-Man?
Right.
Spider-Man dies. Peter Parker dies, and like Doc Octopus becomes Spider-Man, and then his whole mindset changes. He becomes good, and he resolves to become a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker ever was.
You were planning on reading the damn book.
Man. Actually, I had no. You know what? That reminds me, like, because I know Magneto for years it did that too, with Professor X, and said, "I'm going to be a better Professor X."
Okay, I just think that's a huge development.
Right.
The Spidey world. Really.
Peter Parker's been around forever.
So, let me go to a couple of more questions. What other projects are you guys working on that you can talk about as far as after the MK world?
I'm co-producing a movie. I myself will star in an ensemble, and that goes to camera in June. It's called The Lady Killers. It's going to be a low-budget indie. I'm doing that one following all this other stuff, and hopefully the MK movie. Right. So beyond June, I don't know what's going on at this point. Reading through some pilots as well because I got some time in between. But you know, the schedule's it's looking pretty good for the next few months.
I'm currently working on some dance skills, so I can. I might be on a job that might require me to move a little bit more than you guys have seen me move before. So other than that, hopefully the MK movie and. You know, knock on wood, fingers crossed, a lot of good stuff. And then selling these scripts. So,
did you work on did you like do a Fringe or something?
I did do Fringe. I did do a day on Fringe. The thing is, the third to last episode before the series.
Series, and you just got in there.
I got there just underneath the dime, door. But yes, by Jay Risk.
Well, that's
casting. Yeah,
it's a good show though.
Yeah, it was all fun. I had a great time on set.
Now I'm going through the IMDb world, and what's this jackhammer?
Oh, jackhammer is actually a fellow named Michael Hannes. Mike Hannes is a good friend of mine for the last 10 years. I met him when he was a trainer, and he literally was he was a a male entertainer, a dancer at one point. He would go around, and he had that kind of physique. He knew I was acting at that point, and he was always quite interested in the industry and how to break in, whatnot, because he had a lot of funny ideas. He kept telling me. About 3 years ago, he was begging me to make an appearance in this movie, and I was going back and forth between Los Angeles and Vancouver a lot, filming other projects, and he would try to catch me so that I could make an appearance. It never happened. Just about a year ago, he had already wrapped the movie, but he got a grant from the Canadian Telefilm, a big chunk of money, and he sent the rough cut to a bunch of celebrities, and they loved it so much they all started to make cameos. He caught me on the last 2 weeks. I was in Vancouver. I was shooting Falling Skies, and I agreed to go over there. Soft pay. I didn't take anything, and went and did this crazy cameo in it, and right now they're looking for distribution, but it stars, a bunch of people: Jamie Kennedy, Pamela Anderson, So it's an indie, and it should be released in theaters. I guess maybe around May, June. But it's a zany movie. It's a funny movie. It's very much a throwback to a lot of those '80s kind of sex comedies. So
nice.
That's what enticed me. I was when I actually saw a cut of it when he was asking me, and when I agreed to do it, I saw a cut of it, and I was on the floor in stitches. So I agreed absolutely. I could make a little appearance, and they included me on IMDb. I was hoping that they wouldn't, but they did, and it's out there now. But
they wouldn't. Why would you?
Because I wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh, okay.
I thought people, what the hell is it that guy? So.
There is no surprises with IMDb anymore.
Yeah, everything gets put out there, man.
No.
So now I'm looking, and I'm gonna go to the other side. Let's go backwards in time a little bit. So Colton Johnson.
Yeah. Sounds like a porn name, doesn't it?
Colt Johnson.
Colton Johnson.
Jesus.
That horse dick.
Yeah, exactly. Johnson Colt.
It was for all my children. Once again, it was a little bit of shooting. It was really quick because shooting a soap is so much different than shooting a series or a movie. Just because unless you have a giant through line or arc, it's very bang, 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 and you're shooting with 4 different cameras, all pointed the same way. The guy on my right in the clip, if you ever find it, is actually taller than me. But because of the way that everyone was staggered in the shot, the actresses were really tiny anyway. I look like a giant, just letting you know. I look like at least 3 feet taller than everybody else in the room. Not the case.
So did you get to work with Susan Lucci direct or what?
Not. I don't know. Completely different scene. It was pretty much one of those situations where somebody's husband had died, and I was returning essentially his dead possessions to him, to her actually. Get out, do your thing.
Now, what do you guys, as far as your choices? Obviously, we know you've got action/martial arts skill. What do you guys want as far as your ideal type of movie? Like what you want to be, quote unquote, if you got to be typecast, how do you want to be typecast?
How do I want to be typecast?
I mean, nobody really wants to, but I mean, you gotta, this. I'm sure there's a certain genre of movie that, like, you say, hey, you know what? I want to be drama, or I want to be horror, or I want to be action.
While I love to make people laugh, I really do. I feel like my strongest point right now is drama. Comedy seems to be a little bit harder for me. It actually really just depends on the script. So
yeah, I just
really
agree. It's all about placement and timing.
Yeah.
If you're put into the right place, you're gonna kill it for sure. But it's got to be
where you're at in your life and where you're at in your head really has a lot to do with it as well.
You don't want to be in movie 43.
Let me ask you this now: on an acting, for people out there that want to be actors. And I spoke briefly with Shane about it. Let me ask you this. As far as scripting goes, do you got to remember your lines word for word perfect every time? Or is it frowned on if you come in and it's like, well, shit, I don't remember everything, especially with timing of stuff nowadays. You traditionally don't get like, once again, I'm going back old school. You don't get studio actors no more.
Okay. No, you certainly don't. But as far as, again, at the core of your question, you want to have your lines down perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the, it's the
written a certain way for a
reason.
reason.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everything starts on the page and it's written, and that's the writer's intent. And it'd be an insult to not to not know the material. So ideally, yeah. But then again, you know, it all varies depending on who's directing what episode or who's the director of the film.
If the writer's on the set and it's okay with you changing the line or not, and when I say changing the line, it's not completely changing it. It's just sometimes you get in the habit of seeing a word and saying a word completely differently. So when you say the lines over and over again, sometimes you might change it for that something minute, or in your head you think is minute, when in reality it's not minute, and we cannot change the dialogue. But some sets, they go, you know what? If it'll help you get through the dialogue a little easier, if it sounds smoother and more natural to you saying it this way, then yeah, that works too.
So I mean, like for example, let's say I don't know. I'm trying to think of a hypothetical. They would frown upon it if you said, you know, something to the effect of "fuck, get me a burger," eh? Or "hey, get me a fucking burger." Now you just totally.
Exactly.
You know, they're gonna look at it and be like, "Yo, what the hell?" But now, as far as the not the changing of the line, is how bad is it looked down upon for quote unquote, and I don't want to say forgetting, but like, you know, I guess I would say forgetting. You know, do these guys look at it, or is it like really director dependent that like this guy's gonna go get this fucking guy out of here?
It depends on how, like Peter said before, you need to show up to set knowing your lines, period. You need to know them. But if during a take you forget a line, that's what script supervisors are there for. That's what people are to make sure that you have the lines down correctly.
That's what multiple takes are for.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to, you know, be on the 70-second take and, you know, Kubrick's not directing. Right. So if you find yourself in that situation, right, you might want to call your agent to see if everything's okay. For sure.
You know, you don't want to hold up production.
Yeah. You want to show up on set with your A game going, for sure.
All right, so for each of you, we're going to start with Peter. Your first gig, the first time you did any acting, how much were you shitting a brick?
Well, definitely nowadays I'm a lot more comfortable stepping onto a set and having, you know, and knowing that tens of thousands of dollars are going every few minutes. But tell you the truth, I don't ever remember being really, you know, nervous in kind of a negative where it was debilitating in any way. I felt nervous in a sense of just being excited and, you know, just being pleased with myself because I got myself to the supposed set. So, you know, every time I look forward to it eagerly.
Now, did you study, I mean, acting in school, or did you go to outside schools?
Well, I took drama in high school, just like everybody else, but then I went to university for a couple of years after that, and then I really immersed, and I took acting lessons as a teenager, unbeknownst to my folks. I was paying for that with, you know, newspaper delivery money. But then once I relocated to Los Angeles, then, you know, I went in full force and really surrounded myself with a lot of acting types and took many acting classes with private teachers all around Los Angeles. And you find yourself, you know, at a class with, you know, half the class are A-list actors, you know, and they're just keeping fresh. And, you know, I think that's our professional responsibility. So, you know, it's always ongoing. I'm going to look for a class myself in the next few months if I have any extra time.
Now, as far as the classes go, you know, for other people out there that are looking to become, quote unquote, like I said, actors, how do those classes benefit you as far as like a lot of people want to know like what you get out of classes such as going to an, you know, acting school with, you know, say one teacher as compared to another teacher. You know, a lot of people might think it's the same thing.
Absolutely not. I think there's a lot of courses offered, but just like you know, any kind of that kind of dynamic arrangement where you're being taught something. There's more there's better you know, communication between certain pairings, you know, pairing up, and you know, it's all about finding the right teacher and the right process. Acting is approached you know, a lot of different ways. You can be you know, come from different kind of institution of you know, training, and it all depends on the individual. So you got to find the right process, the right teacher, you know, the right way to tackle a scene, or the right you know, the right pace. You know, everybody has their own personal process. You know, there's no definite answer with that, but certainly I would encourage you know, formal training, not necessarily getting your bachelor's in, you know, performing arts at university. That's great too. Putting that on your resume doesn't really mean anything in Hollywood, because if you walk into the room, you find yourself getting into that room, and they say, you know, show us what you got, and you do that scene. If you're the person, you are the person. Doesn't matter what your resume says, what kind of experience you had. Some people are born with that. Some people have to make an effort to reach that kind of that caliber acting. But certainly, I think it's favorable if you take some classes, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Got it.
Nate, do you have any questions on you or no?
No, give me a minute.
All right, that's no problem. You know, and I'm going to ask the same to you, Shane, because you know, people are curious, like I said, about as far as getting that formal training to quote unquote be an actor. You know, you go to different schools. Did you attend, you know, acting in school, or did you just go and find studios to go and be trained by actors? I mean, I know you got the dance, so I mean, I'm sure that, you know, that's obviously incorporated into this. In my opinion, unfortunately, and guys are going to break my chops for this, I don't think there's, you know, I mean, I think Footloose was the last time there was a movie that really in Dirty Dancing, that incorporated any type of dancing since the Fred Astaire days.
Right. Well, there's also, you know, movies like Step Up and
Honey,
and what was it? You got served actually from way back in the day. Bring It On.
I actually saw all those movies.
Yeah, exactly. And you went to go see performers do their thing. You didn't go. You didn't necessarily go there for the awesome acting, because it was up and down sometimes.
There was some good dancing in those movies. I have to admit, it was pretty good.
definitely.
I don't know, I ain't danced since 1983, and that was a battle at the Roxy in New York City, breakdancing.
Oh. Wow.
You got pictures of that?
I wish, because you know what? It's funny. You know, as a white kid back in the early 80s dancing, breakdancing, it was, I won't say it was frowned on, but it was like, yo, get the hell out of here. And I was damn good. You know, I mean, I was teaching classes. I was telling Shane my mother was a dance teacher. And now I'm going to get blown up on the forums that, you know, JamessMK is a dancer. But you know what? Yeah, I took some stuff here and there. So, you know, people...
There's no shame. There's no apologizing.
Well, that's the thing. I could tell you, you know, like the guys that troll me, I say, just remember, I could dance and I can kick the shit out of you.
Have you seen, what was it, the other guys with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell?
Yeah, I did.
His character starts doing pirouettes, you know, and actually does them well. And I think the line was, Will Ferrell says he learned to dance like that sarcastically, because the character learned to dance like that just to make fun of the other kids. But actually got really good at it. So hate all you want, guys. Hate all you want on the dancers, but they're the people who are entertaining you and working their asses off.
Dancers are awesome. They're so disciplined and they're so trained.
They're athletes,
and they get the worst. You know, they nobody rich dancers. They should be. They literally.
That's a good point.
Sweat, tears, and blood. So it's just like you know, just like what's her name said in Flashdance, not in Flashdance, the Fame.
I mean, it's funny because me growing up, you know, I was surrounded with a lot of big dancers at the time. I had no idea who they were. You know, this guy Jose Molina, who was a top flamenco dancer. You know, and he's coming to my house, and you know, I'll admit it, I was breaking his chops, like, yeah, que pasa, you know, and basically breaking his chops, not realizing that he was like a top dancer. You know, I just thought I mean, it was dudes that would come to my house with my parents, and you know, they'd be like, you know, this guy's a big ballet guy, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know. And now that I've gotten older, all of a sudden I see their names as like guys that were dancing in, you know, Lincoln Center and traveling to Russia. So yeah, definitely shout outs to all those dances. And I already got my first troll there, Limbo Dog. Yeah, exactly, Limbo Dog. Just remember something, I could always kick your ass. So, you know, I can dance and I can whoop your ass.
Yeah, and look elegant doing it.
Yeah, right?
Pretty.
Yeah.
You know, you
believe it or not, all those awesome fight scenes that you guys like, they're a lot easier to do with a dance background and with dance practice.
It looks good, man. That's why Roadhouse is such a big classic movie now, because Swayze kicked ass and did ballet at the same time.
Right?
Swayze was the shit.
He was the shit. That's what I mean. He'll pirouette you to death.
Shout outs to Patrick Swayze, man.
Yeah. Swayze's awesome. You know how many movies I've seen that guy in? He's just awesome at everything. You've been in some shitty movies, but he's never shitty. He's an excellent actor. And then dance too and sing. It's awesome.
Yeah, he was great. I gotta say, you know, I mean, he was, for the 80s, he was probably, if I had to categorize dancers, Kevin Bacon, Footloose, I mean, come on, you can't top that. And believe it or not, you know who else? Johnny B. Good.
Johnny B.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh
shit.
Right, I forgot about that.
Wow.
I worked with him on Dead Zone.
Did you? That's right, I forgot he did the Dead Zone. Damn.
One episode I had to arrest him and had to slam him up on this squad car a few times, and it was tough to get that scene down because he kept farting on my hands as I was cuffing. That's a real story, man.
Wow.
He was laughing because I think it was like season 3 or something. He became like an associate producer on the show. So if he wants to waste 10 minutes farting on my hands, he can do it, right? So, and then when I saw that appearance, they did that cameo in Entourage, like season 5 or something, when he pisses off like the Bar Marmont.
So to answer your question from before, in terms of what advice I can give people who want to start acting, if you're not willing to let somebody fart on your hands, take after take after take, then you're not wanting to be an actor.
Yeah, man.
That's the bottom line.
You better be able to let producers fart on your hands, because that's what it's about.
That's the microcosm of what's actually happening.
You gotta cup your hands like that.
Thank you. Can I have another, please?
I kind of spun off here, but let me just go back quick. So, as far as what your advice is, as far as you know, the training and everything. I mean, you know, I guess obviously the dance helps. As far as schooling goes, I mean, were you know, college acting / film, or just straight out to find schools wherever you can find good teachers?
Well, I was acting since high school, and then from then I went to Baylor University, where I got my BFA, or my BA in acting. Or I say BFA in acting, sorry. And from then, my parents made sure that I, you know, finished getting my diploma and then went off to LA. So, would things have been a little different if I started right out of high school? Probably. But I feel like I got a better head on my shoulders now, having done the college experience, having had the crazy parties that won't be mentioned. But now that's out of my system, I can kind of focus a little bit more, you know, on what I really want to do. But yes, I definitely went to school for acting. But I kept a good balance of acting and social life, so that you wouldn't want to just be known as just the weirder theater kids, right? Because those are definitely out there. That's the stigma, right?
That's another one. I think Val Kilmer was a weird theater kid. But look at him. Do you remember?
Because he kept focused on the acting thing.
No, Top Secret was one of his first movies. He danced his way right through that movie. He was awesome at the same time.
Yeah, but I've seen him lately. He's gotten a little big.
Happens to everybody.
He's a good actor.
That happens to everybody, you know.
Has he done anything though? I don't even know if he's done anything lately.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of things. I mean, I know he's done a couple straight to DVD kind of things, but I know that he's in some exciting new movies. I've seen his name. They dropped his name, you know, on the Sundance
recently,
and stuff, and you know.
Once again, Elvis in True Romance.
Right. Love Clarence. Yeah, that's. I was late.
I love him in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, man. That was my favorite Val Kilmer.
Even Batman.
Yeah, actually, he was a good Bruce Wayne as well.
Remember, he had like problems on the set with I think with Marlon Brando on Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was all normal and shit, handsome and stuff, and Moreau was wearing. I mean, he was walking around in a veil and shit. Now Val Kilmer's turned into that too. You know what I mean?
Natus, you got a couple more questions though, right?
Yeah. Could you tell us some of the things that went on behind the scenes during the filming of Mortal Kombat Legacy?
Like exactly anything.
I don't know. Just tell us any stories you got, like any bloopers or something that happened behind the scenes.
Oh, well, I do know that it has nothing to do with me, actually. Fight rehearsal for the Kano Michael Jai White fight, somebody got kicked in the nose.
Ooh.
I'm not saying who. I'm saying somebody moved in a little too close during a spinning hook kick and was where he shouldn't have been.
Wow.
Broken nose or just bloody nose?
I know. It was more of a. It was a tag. It was a tag.
There's no real Van damage.
No real Van damage. Because I was at the fight rehearsal, I was like, oh, you stepped in where you shouldn't have.
Well, there's a little nugget. Van damage up to 24 hours before we started shooting, which is the first minute of shooting of the whole web season.
Yeah.
Up to 24 hours before, Van Damme verbally, was attached to the project. Was supposed to be Johnny Cage.
Who was Van Damme supposed to play?
Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage.
Wow, really?
He was the original. He was slated to be the original Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 1 as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
shit.
heard. I heard the game was designed after him. In fact, I don't know if there's any truth to that. But
We should stop fighting it.
No, there is truth to that. I mean, I'll admit that. Like I said, I worked on the first 3 games, so there definitely is truth to that. And once again, people want $1 million to do a project where you don't have $1 million to lay out.
All right. My next question is, were there any scenes that didn't make it into the final cut of the web series?
Yes, quite a bit, actually. The reason why I played Hydro is because Hydro's actually a twin. There were 2 little boys, actually, who were supposed to play.
Can you reveal that?
I'm not sure if I can. I should probably not.
Wow, you just leave us hanging like that one?
I'm a twin, so yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Huh.
Now their heads are spinning. They're thinking,
Sorry,
what could it
guys.
be?
Now everybody's going, huh?
What you think it is probably right. But don't ask for it. There's some things, little nuances like that. In fact, there was only 9 webisodes. It was supposed to be like 10, possibly 11 or something, but didn't have the time, the budgeting.
Right.
And there was going to be a whole webisode dedicated to the to Shang Tsung, and played by my friend Johnson Fan, the young Shang Tsung version.
Yeah.
And that kind of got axed early in the shooting because budgeting and scheduling. So there was the audience was robbed of that short story. But hopefully Kevin wrote that into the web season too. Who knows?
Yeah, we were told by Larnell that there was supposed to be a Goro and a Cabal episode that never came through either.
Because we also had a certain amount of time as well, You think about how long it took for us to get the 9th episode out after the 8th episode had aired. It's because they wanted to make sure that the CGI and the suits looked good for you guys. We didn't want that to look like claymation. Don't get me wrong, that had its time and place.
Yeah,
but
it had to look realer than Transformers.
Right.
So it looked pretty damn good.
Otherwise,
It definitely looked great.
Yeah, they did a bang-up job doing that. I mean, it really came out fantastic looking. I mean, the way the cyborgs looked and everything and how the fighting was moving, and it was just very fluid. It looked very natural. It was just pretty sick. I mean, everybody was just in awe when they saw it.
Yeah, there was one thing. I can say this, definitely can say this. There was a little piece was missing at the end as they were fighting. The fight doesn't really continue to really. I think they shot maybe a couple of versions, but there was another version where we get detained.
Yes.
Oh, we stop the. I think we're ninjas still, or we're robots. I'm not sure, but at one point, there's some device on the side of that factory, and it shoots out these plasma nets, and then we get captured. You know, those green neon nets, and then we get
from a chest, neon net.
Yeah, but they send one. That technology is like in a wall, and it's like some, it's like a boom box or something. It actually had like speakers or something, and it was going to shoot out a plasma net, and then,
that was actually failing the test, I believe.
Yeah, and then that part of the website was taken out.
Right.
Yeah, because it was kind of one of the things I did kind of notice the way it played out. It kind of played out as if, like you just said, partially you guys fucked up, but you didn't see the fuck up test because they were kind of looking at you, and they kind of had this disposition like, okay, they are the legit ones when you whoop the guys' asses. But you kind of take away like, well, they kind of saying that as if you already tested them and they fucked up.
Yeah, I think it was just some prototype test. I don't think it was anything definitive because they wouldn't have put us 2-on-1. I just think that it was like one of these initial systems tests because certainly we were the more advanced models, and that was the previous prototype. So.
Now, when guys, when you did y'all scene, did you have any feedback in doing the scene, or it was just all basically you were just told what to do and that was it?
Kevin was very specific with what he wanted. He made sure that before we even got on the set, that we had kept a certain tone to the scene, because with the genre that we're playing in, there is a very high possibility for camp. Things being campy. So Kevin made sure before we even got onto set, and we didn't waste any time trying to find how we need to play the dialogue. First, he came in and cut a couple lines and said, "It sounds better if we just do this." And then while we were shooting, we'd do the take, then he'd call cut, he'd come up to us and say something really quick, and we'd get it, and then he'd go back out, call action, we'd do it again.
Yeah, in the end, we didn't even know exactly how it was going to be handled. We just participate and contribute on those specific days that we had in little snippets. In the end, I was very pleasantly surprised by the end product when we saw it, and I really didn't foresee what the end product. I only did my little 2 cents, and then you see how it all gets put together, and you got to remember it's a massive collaborative effort. I
think it also comes with a lot of trust as well.
Yeah,
because
absolute trust.
When the tendency, well, both actually. I think when I don't know about you, but I was nervous coming on the set the first day. And we had to go right off the bat if we didn't meet each other in the trailer, we wouldn't have had any rehearsal time. Yeah, so that's true. I trusted that the guy that hired to play Sektor would know his shit, and he did. And then once we got on set, I trusted that Kevin knew what he was doing and had a vision. So I just had to make sure that I had my shit together. So when I showed up, I brought my A game and trusted that everybody else was trying to make me look good and in terms of the film look good. So everyone was trying to help each other out. Very collaborative effort.
Now, go ahead. What do you say?
No, to tell you the truth, when we shot that scene, like literally, you had the first word of the first setup, first scene of the first web series, and first day when we were sitting in the back of this truck and we were shooting. There was maybe 2 or 3 takes. I think that Well, I know damn well that Kevin didn't print them. There's no such thing as printing when you're shooting on digital anyways, but he didn't yell at the script girl, keep those are great. I think he just trashed the first 2, 3 takes because we probably brought in some, real
gravitas,
yeah, too much of that, cartoonish shit. I said, hey man, you're friends, just talk normally.
Yeah.
And, when I saw the end product, I'm like, we're not even talking normally there. Still kind of deep, and I'm like, that was the loosest that he got us. And, in this specific case, I think Kevin knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I definitely think that that interaction when you guys are in the truck, it's that yeah, we're cool with each other, but at the same time, we're friends, but at the same time, you know, business is what I walked away from that conversation that you guys held. Except, you know, Cyrax is more in tune with that friend aspect. You're more in tune with this is business.
Yeah, he's trying to save me. I'm staying focused and loyal to the clan.
Well, to the cause,
yeah,
even though it's changed from before.
Now, if you had a choice of doing anything different, would you?
You mean in terms of the shoot?
Yeah. Did you walk away saying, you know what, I wish I did this different?
Not really. Because things move so fast, I made good connections and good friends and people that I still talk to this day. It was a great experience. And like I said, if we had done the take 3 more times, yeah, we might have been looser, and we would have given you guys a completely different read. But I trusted that whatever I was doing, at least on my end, that when Kevin said, okay, we got it, or cut, you know, maybe a little bit less with the brow, more this, you know, that he knew what he was doing. Apparently he was seeing something that was getting close to where he needed me to be. And then when he said we got it and we're moving on, it's my job at that point not to go, well, I think I can do that better, or no, just let it go. They're going to edit it up anyway.
You can beg for one more take, but you don't want to start slowing down the production right off the bat. Yeah. Be that guy. I need one more take.
It's like, really? You just
no, I need one more. No.
We just got 10 minutes into the day. Can you not? We got what we needed, you know?
Now on the set, I mean, was there, you know, like I said, I know it's looked the more retakes is the worse, but I mean, was there clowning? I mean, like, did you guys have the ability, like, sitting in the truck, I don't know, put on like drunk mode and like, you know, hey, Cyrax, I don't want to do this shit, you know, whatever it is, you know, and just, I mean, the ability to spoof, is it there, or was it like, no, we're here, we ain't got much money to do this, so let's just get this done?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
That's what you just said.
There were very few, you know, fart around on set moments, and if they happen at times that were there was blatant time to do it. For example, when we were in the armored car, when they were changing cameras around, or when they were trying to figure out the pacing of rocking the armored car, it got a little too rhythmic. It sounded like heads hitting a bedboard, like a really squeaky bed, like someone's hooking up on top of the friggin' car. So you make a comment about that after the line's called cut, and they laugh and they adjust the rock of the car so it doesn't seem like someone's screwing in the back seat.
It's not really horsing around, though. Right.
There's no practical joking. Not when it's in a situation like that. It's too
dangerous.
It's too dangerous. We're moving too fast, and people want to get stuff done.
It's too early in production to start hamming around. Plus, we're such fresh news, initial introductions.
We haven't really earned that. I've been on set for, you know, an entire month and everyone loves me.
Then it gets really comfortable. Then you can fart in somebody's hands. Like after you knock the ball. But this guy did it right off the bat. Yeah. Shook my hand, then farted in it. You know. But then again, producer. He was a producer, so.
All right. I'm gonna hit you up with a couple more questions. I'm gonna let you guys go because we're running on the 2:15 hour here, and.
Sorry about that.
No. It's actually no problem. I'm you know, the only, like I said, the third half of this show gets a little raw. There's a lot of drama going on that I actually want to address with tournament organizers and stuff. So you might not want to be around for it because when I get in my pissed off mood, I have a tendency to pop off very loud.
Yeah, we're not in the Cari-Tagawa Hawaiian time zone either, so. Yeah. I know his tricks. I know that Shang Tsung Wtih talked till 7 a.m. because he's in a flight.
It doesn't matter. He stayed up. He came on at 10. He did, what was the shit? He did 6 hours?
5.
5 hours? 5 hours.
5 hours long.
I mean, he's a regular Energizer bunny there. I mean, I've never had a guest come close to that. You know, I actually had to say, dude, I got to take a shower and go to work.
Yeah, he must have answered like about 60, 70 questions from everybody.
Well, he's got the career life for it.
Yeah,
Like, he's got a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we'll knock it out the park. We'll be back on again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, everybody. I mean, I've told every guest, you guys are always, you know, just for taking the time out, you're always welcome to come on. I mean, yeah, the show, you know, I won't say there's a stigma with it, but I've had a tendency to be a little, what's the word I'm looking for, belligerent at times.
Okay.
But I took a Valium today, so I'm all right. But it's wearing off.
So okay. So what? You want to be gone by that time that happens?
Nah, you know what it is? Like I said, the gaming community as a whole is no different than Hollywood anymore. And you know, I'm not the man of total righteousness, but you know, things that have gone on in the competitive scene, where you know, 3 days of playing a game, you walk off with 20 grand. So it's business now.
Wow. Pays better than the Olympics, a gold medal, or any Wheaties contract. Pays me, and you can train yourself at home.
Exactly. I mean, and because it's become a business, some shady folk have decided to grace a lot of the communities with their presence. And you know, I just I feel obligated as like the oldest gamer in the fighting game community to, you know, basically lay out that, you know, your shady shit ain't gonna work.
Stage infested the gaming world.
What was that? I'm sorry.
You say it's shark infested the competitive gaming world.
Yeah, it's without a doubt, without a doubt.
I thought you were saying that the gaming world is synonymous with Hollywood now, in the sense that they'll spend $100 million on some project or a film, and then release it, and then start looking at, you know, one-day earnings and stuff like that, because video games are commanding a bigger box office on their opening weekends than any film.
Because they're not just side scrollers anymore. There's entire giant scripts attached to these things.
Well,
like Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, the Halo script.
Well, with that, look at this. Disney, who put out, had a company that was putting out Epic Mickey and Epic Mickey 2 with the, and this is my guess because, you know, I'm not Disney, they closed their gaming division for no reason. You know, the only reason I can kind of come up with is there's been some negative vibes with the shootings that have surrounded games. Basically,
so many expensive acquisitions, they had to make a few cutbacks here and there, I guess.
You know, whatever the case may be, they've, you know, Epic Mickey, while it wasn't, you know, a mind-blowing game, it was actually an entertaining game.
Epic Mickey 2.
I thought it was Walt Disney.
Yes, they did. They released Epic Mickey 2, and the same company, and they just, literally today, you know, I think it was yesterday was Warner Brothers announced, was it yesterday or today that Warner Brothers announced their new CEO? I think it was today.
Yeah, he's
I'm not sure.
Division, I guess, Warner
Here?
Yeah, Warner Premier.
Yeah, that's who.
And Warner Vision, so this guy came up big, you know.
And then, you know, Disney's announcing today that they're closing this. I mean, basically, these guys were notified today when the press release came out. They didn't even have no idea. So, yeah, so, you know, a lot of gaming companies are closing. A lot of them are opening. I mean, believe it or not, like the film industry, you know, indie developers are having more luck now than they ever did. And I think kind of now with the movie side, I think a lot of indie people are getting more recognition than they used to as well.
I think it ebbs and it flows, but a lot of ways, you know, indies are some subdivision of like this massive studio. Anyways, you got like you know, what's that one? 20th Century Fox has got the Fox Vision or Fox Searchlight Pictures, and then there's Fine Line Pictures from New Line, and you know, there's a lot of subsidiary kind of production houses. And now, you know, the indies 25 years ago were, you know, $20,000 movies. Now you can have $20 million indie. Cloud Atlas was an indie, and that thing costed $90 million. So, You know, it's a really dynamic and strange world out there now.
I think it's also because people because like the Canon 7D and digital recording is so easily accessible to everybody. Like we're having a web conversation, a web interview, essentially, that people believe that just because they've seen it done with a certain amount of budget doesn't mean it means that they're going to make this much money off a certain product just because it was made by a big company. Then you get in a situation where you pay for a movie that's supposed to be indie on a really super low budget, and it turns out to be shit, not the indie, you know, I guess dark horse that you thought it was going to be. You got to put a little bit of money into it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of slumdog millionaires floating around.
Exactly.
All right, so I am going to let you guys have the floor for a little bit. If anything you guys want to get out there, anything you guys want to promote. And then I'm going to cut you guys loose because we're now about 20 after 2, so that's what, like 11:30 your guys' time? I know you California people don't like to stay up past midnight.
You go with the dark glasses, right?
We're forced to go to bed at 12. The bars close at 2 here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. What time did it close up in Montreal? Like
4 or 5.
4 or 5, right?
Let everybody go to yoga out here tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So you know how it is.
I think we pretty much covered everything that I needed to plug. Right?
Yeah, I said everything I wanted to say. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me at what's my tag name? It's Peter Shinkoda on Twitter, and you can follow my fan page on Facebook.
Hey, NaTaS, get those out there.
I'm doing it right now.
He's getting those out there right now. Like I said, as you know, as far as the MK community goes, I take the liberty to speak for them because I can. I will say that any way that the MK community can voice their opinion to make sure that Cyrax and Sektor are intact will happen, you know, whether it be through Twitter or getting to Kevin or whatever it may be. But like I said, I think you both, especially sitting here with you guys really do epitomize Cyrax and Sektor, and just from talking to you guys, you can really see the dark shades in the hood and the clean cut look, you know. You guys fit the characters perfect.
It's not even planned. Like, it's just kind of like that.
That's how I just all the time.
That's Tiffany Mac casting for you. She's that good.
Yes. So yeah, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook, official Shane Warren Jones fan page, at Shane Warren J with Twitter. Anything else?
Yeah, if you want to campaign for appearance in the features, I suggest you tag hashtag Mortal Kombat and
Stark and Sektor.
Tag us and Kevin Tancheron. That's about it. Maybe Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers too.
Well, I got a direct line with Warner Brothers, so I'll be calling up Ed Boon tomorrow. I'll be like, yo, you got to make sure these guys stay.
Thank you.
So that's a given. And with that said, guys, I'm going to let you guys run. Like I said, anytime you guys want to come on this show, you are more than welcome. Just hit me up. And, you know, the only one that I'm going to bump you for is Talissa Soto. I'm sorry.
Understood, right.
Understood,
yeah.
man.
But again, guys, thanks for coming on. And, guys, you know, like I said, anytime. And, you know, the MK community thanks you for taking the time out to be on the show.
Yes, thank you guys.
Peace out, bro.
All right, man.
All right, guys.
Ay caramba, puta pendejo, maricón, chinga tu madre. All right, so I am going to take a piss. All right, I'm back. That was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Where to start?
Yeah, I just put out a message.
I'm going to start with this. Any Mortal Kombat player that participates in my boycott, and that's right, guys, my boycott of fucking Evo. I can't give you much, but I can guarantee you I'll give you a shirt or a fucking hoodie when you come to VXG. Fuck these motherfuckers. This whole East Coast thing where they don't give points out. You know, I've had people tweeting to me telling me that I took it too far. You know what? I'm calling them out on their donation drive and saying it's fucking a crock of shit. I don't think there's no fucking money involved. I don't think people are donating as much money as being floated out there that's being donated. I think they're going to hedge their bets, okay? And I think what they're hoping for is that an NRS comes and shells out a lot of more money for Injustice to get in and tops it out. I will say this. Whatever the final amount of money is that Evo donates, I think for a fact, Evo should turn around and match whatever community gives that money out. Yes, for making top 8 at Operation Wolf, no. Operation Wolf was not a major, Luzlu. But your shirts is no problem, but the hoodies are top 3 at any major. But I'll do top 5. I'm gonna change it to top 5. Sorry, brother. It's gotta be a top 5 then. At Winter Brawl, you earn it, you get it. The Cannons can suck my dick. Mr. Wizard can eat my asshole while fucking Cannons are sucking my dick. NATaS, from this point on, I want anything that mentions SRK taken off of all of our shit. I don't give a fuck who these people think they are. They're not the end all. These motherfuckers started from the East Coast, and now all of a sudden these guys are going to turn around and portray themselves as some kind of leader of the community because of their event. They ain't shit. SRK has done nothing, absolutely nothing to support our game. Okay? The simple fact of the matter is, they've given us a couple of write-ups on the show, you know, because they had nothing else to write about. They're a bunch of cocksuckers, and they can all go fuck themselves. I will not support Evo ever again. In fact, I hope there is an Evo East that does come about from them fucking over the whole East Coast. And any East Coast person that would actually participate in Evo really has to take a second look and say, why the fuck would you participate in something that they don't even give a shit about the community? They don't care about the Mortal Kombat community. I mean, I may have had my war with MLG, but they were the lesser of two evils. They really were the lesser of two evils. I am supporting VXG because it's not as big. And also I want to see it grow. Maybe it can become the Evo of the East. And, you know, this way the East Coast can have their own world tournament as apparently Evo wants to do, which is fracture the whole community anyway as far as the fighting game community. I can't reiterate how many times the Cannons and Mr. Wizard could suck my dick. I really can't stand these motherfuckers for what they pulled. Whether you were trying to punish tournament organizers or whether you were trying to punish the East Coast is irrelevant to me. They don't give a shit about this community. They never cared about this community. And all this community is to them is a quick fucking allowance. That's all we are to them. And that's all we'll be. I wish Mr. Wizard is not a god. Mr. Wizard is a piece of shit. Alright, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. Alright, these supposed old school motherfuckers don't give a shit about any community except the community in their pocket, which they want to line it with money. The fact is that at the end of the day, I will, like I said, I am not supporting Evo. I will not go to Evo, and the only time I will step fucking foot in that goddamn Las Vegas is to visit Napalm or fucking any of the fucking other Las Vegas players that are out there, Dab or the Terry brothers. I have no reason to support these motherfuckers. No, I won't buy fucking Mr. Wizard a McRib. He could suck on my McCock. All right. They have turned around and fractured the community. That's reality. They have done it, not me. All right. I may have done some things, and you know what? I actually was looking around at this shit ass SRK piece of shit site the other day, and I noticed like in the forums, and guys, you know, once again, they have an MK forum apparently, but nobody goes to it. You know.
Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. I just got word from my boy in in Australia. Mr. Wizard is a cunt. I remember that dude from the early TTT days of Tekken Zabuza. He's always been a cunt. Exactly. He's a cunt. Mr. Wizard's a cunt, and the other two guys are the balls. So one of them has got to be the cock to shove inside the cunt, because they're both fucking scumbags, and they can go fuck themselves. I am not going to use the word nigga. You know, I'm not going to say that these guys are niggas or scumbags or whatever. They're cunts. It's 3 cunts. Alright? And I hope, let them fucking ban me. Let them ban me from your piece of shit site, because I will not support your piece of shit site in any way, shape, or form. You know, SRK versus MK community, potential war. It's not a potential war. It's me versus these cocksuckers. Now let's see if these guys are such fucking dick-ass pussies that they'll make the MK community suffer because of the things I say. And they're going to turn around and they're going to try to pawn that shit off. Well, hey, MK community, you got to shut him up. Well, stick your Illuminati mentality up your ass. Because you know what? I am going to promise you this. I am going to do all my fucking fact-checking. Okay? I am going to look to make sure that every fucking penny, you know, fucking Baruch Goldstein, you cocksucker, I know who you are. You ain't going to drop an elbow on me. I mean, he might drop his fucking big fat fucking belly on me. But I am going to double check every single tax fucking, every single fucking donation, all these honor scholarships that they supposedly handed out. And I want to make sure every one of them's on the up and up. And trust me, I have some Goldsteins that'll do it, Baruch. I don't give a shit. You know, I tell you now, guys, and, you know, everybody thinks I got something against PL. And I'm, you know, in all honesty, I'm glad CD Jr. lost and Rio lost and PL won Evo twice. Alright? But my problem is I don't want fucking there to be a third time. And I hope that this community is smart enough. Now, I feel bad in the sense that I wish everybody could have experienced what Evo was compared to what Evo is. If you didn't, it's like with MLG. You know, I may have not liked MLG for certain aspects, but I think everybody should have experienced it. If you didn't experience it, you're not going to if you go there. It's not the same no more. When I went in 2012, beyond chilling out with Napalm and the MK community, I got nothing out of it. I got zero out of it. And everybody else that I've spoken to in the MK community that had attended it in 2011 and 2012 has said the same exact thing. They've turned around and they said it wasn't the same. So MLG doesn't have KOF. MLG ain't going to do fighters no more, and I'm sure of that. It's sad because, you know, as much as I disagreed with them, I wish they did stick around and at least put up a fight. And I don't think they're gone from fighting games. I just think right now they're not. It's not economically viable. Is that fucking the words I'm looking for? It's not viable for them to do right now. But when Injustice rolls out, I'm sure they'll roll out 3 games. Yes, IPL is something that I would tell people go and support. You know, go support IPL if you have to. Support anything but Evo. I will not give a fucking dime to these motherfuckers. And I'm sorry, guys. I won't give to donation drives to get people there. If you want to do donation drives to get to the VXG event, which is in the same month, then I will definitely entertain that. You know, hold on. I got somebody I want to add into this. Let's see. Let me add you in while I'm in a fucking peacefuler mood. Where the fuck are you? There you go. You know, Evo has done nothing for this community. You know, like I said, fuck Evo for the amount of money that it's going to cost.